Hey, good evening, everybody. I'd like to call the Lititz Borough Council meeting for June 24th to order. And Mayor, would you like to lead the opening events here?
Please bow your heads. Father, like decades before us, we gather in the Borough Chamber to make decisions and plan for the future. We earnestly seek to hear your voice telling us which direction to go. We are rich in history, yet you are rich in wisdom. Enlarge our hearts with compassion and grace. Provide creative ways to solve the ongoing list of perplexities. Thank you for freedom, for benevolent leaders, for the ones who protect the dignity and safety of our community. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Mayor. So before we get started, we have a few members that are out of town. Steve Lee is on travel and unavailable tonight. And we also have Chris Sensenik, who is attending remotely, but is in Florida. Present tonight, we have Tanea, Jerry Meck, and Mary Gaddis, and myself, Ken Mobley. So that'll be our roll call for tonight. All right. I don't see anybody else in the audience. Okay, we'll move forward. Did everybody have a chance to review the meeting minutes from May?
Yes.
Any suggestions or corrections at this point?
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Motion passes. Thank you. Okay, so we have two exciting presentations tonight, and I'd like to have Tanea introduce our first guest.
All right. Thank you, Ken. So first presentation is going to be by Rob Walker. He is the Chief and Executive Director of the Warwick Community Ambulance Association. And he and I sit on a committee, the West Committee, and he brought us some information at the last meeting, and I thought it would be good for all of the council to hear and be aware of this. So he's going to talk about the mutual aid agreement. If you want to come up, Rob, thank you.
Thank you very much for inviting me. And for those of you that I haven't met yet, I'm Rob Walker. Many of you knew Frank Kennevan was the president and executive director for the ambulance service. He stepped down from that position in January, and I assumed his role. He's still involved with us as the CFO, but I haven't had a chance to come and see you in person. So I welcome this opportunity to talk to you a little bit about mutual aid and a little bit about what we do at Warwick Community Ambulance. And Tanea and I had this conversation that she said there's a lot of things I didn't know, and I thought it would be helpful to share some of that with the Borough Council. So here you go. In a nutshell, Warwick Community Ambulance is the primary emergency medical services provider for Warwick Township, Lititz Borough, and Elizabeth and Clay Townships. We've been here since 1956. Next year will be 70 years of serving the community. We respond to a little bit more than 5,000 calls for service every year with a team of just under 50 employees. We're a pretty busy operation for Little Lititz, and we take a lot of pride in the fact that we're dependable, professional, and ready to respond when the community needs us. But tonight, I just want to bring up a growing challenge that we're facing that affects all of our coverage areas, Lititz Borough included, and that's mutual aid. And for those of you who aren't aware of what mutual aid is, it's when one EMS agency is unavailable and another is dispatched to handle the call. And really, it's designed to be a backup plan where one neighbor helps another. We use it rarely and in situations when it's urgent. But over the last several months, It's become a routine part of our daily operations, and it's becoming a large problem. There is a catch to this. We can't say no, ever. And that's part of PA Code 28 in Chapter 1027. It says that EMS agencies must respond to a dispatch from the primary service, the primary public safety answering point, if they have available staff and an operational EMS vehicle. And you can't decline a call simply to hold a crew or vehicle in reserve. So basically, in short, it means if you're staffed and you have a truck that runs, you have to go wherever they tell you to go. That's the law. And the real problem is when agencies aren't staffed at all or effectively day after day after day, and that's when we get pulled in. So we recognized that this was a problem that was affecting our daily operations. So we really started a deep dive analysis at the beginning of March to get kind of a clearer picture of what the mutual aid situation was for us and other agencies that surround us. So since March 1st, we've been dispatched to hundreds of calls outside of our primary area. And I mean hundreds of calls. We physically responded, as of today, to 216 of them. That is a lot of calls. These are incidents in other townships and boroughs when the local agency didn't have a staffed unit or wasn't available, or might have been called into another area to cover somebody else. About 70% of those calls resulted in a patient transport, which means the ambulance that should be here in Lititz or Warwick Township is now tied up serving another community. And sometimes those transports can take hours at a time. So the result is we're not handling the calls here in town, and we've needed mutual aid in our own coverage area 49 times since we started to count. And in more than half of those cases, we needed mutual aid because we were out of the district providing mutual aid to another agency. So where are we going? Penn Township, Raffo Township, Manheim Borough, Manheim Township, East Hempfield Township, East Petersburg, Lancaster City. It's a cascading system that when an ambulance is busy, Lancaster Countywide Communications calls the next available ambulance. Often Lancaster City is busy. They call Manheim Township. Manheim Township goes. There's a call in Manheim Township. Guess who goes to that? We do, because we're the next closest. These are not occasional events. These happen day after day after day, regular assignments in areas where EMS agencies are not able to consistently staff. The ones we cover most often, Penn State, Lifeline, 109 calls for service in their areas that are contiguous to us, right? So that's Penn, Manheim, Raffo. Those are the ones that are closest. Manheim Township Ambulance, we've covered 85 calls for them in the last 3 months. Lancaster EMS, we've covered 14 or so. Wellspan paramedics do a pretty good job. We've only covered for those folks 6 or 7 times. So this is a problem. We recognize it's an issue. So we've done several things to kind of meet the demand. We've added a 5th ambulance to our fleet. You've seen our blue and white trucks from our station down on North Lane. That means we can always have available 4 duty ambulances with a 5th in reserve. So when we need to provide maintenance, we always have 4 available units. We've hired additional EMTs, and we were just recently accredited as an education institute, so we can train our own EMTs and advanced EMTs at our station without having to send them out. We've restructured our deployment plans to use data to make sure that we're putting ambulances where they need to be when they need to be there. And we're tracking every single incident to get a better look at where we're going and when folks are coming in to help us. But the way things are right now is not sustainable. This is a very broken system, and it continues to be a problem. We were not designed, Warwick EMS was not designed to be the default EMS provider for a large portion of the center of the county that's left unprotected by agencies that are underperforming. Our mission is to serve the area that we have in our name, Warwick Community Ambulance. That's why we're here. The municipalities and the townships and the borough that supports us, we're here to take care of the community, not fill in for systems that don't meet their obligations. and I want to be clear that I'm not asking for anything from you tonight. I just want to make you aware of what's going on in our world, kind of take a look behind the curtain at EMS. It's important for you all to be aware of what we're up against. Our system in Pennsylvania is strained, our capacity is tested, and without more accountability and structural change, the risk to residents here will continue to grow. I want to say from my department and my leadership team, our staff, we appreciate all the support that we're given by the municipalities. The hospitals here are great in working with us, and we want to continue to work to protect and serve the community and push for broader system changes. And I appreciate the opportunity to come and share some of this with you. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them for you. Yes, sir.
Is this similar to what was happening during COVID when you had so many calls that I understand that you were going over, but most of the tie-up was there at the hospital getting rid of?
Yeah, that's
Really?
so that's that's not really the problem today. The bigger issue is really ambulance deployment. So we know based on statistical data how many ambulance calls there are in any particular area, and we know how many ambulances and paramedics we need to serve that area. For example, here, Lititz Borough, Warwick Township, Elizabeth and Clay, we know that during the day, the right number of transport ambulances is 3. And we put a paramedic in a chase truck to be able to dynamically deploy to move that around. We know that that's the right number based on historical data and kind of using 12-week chunks to kind of look at that stuff. I can tell you that some municipalities that neighbor us run as many calls as we do, and they attempt to staff that with 1 ambulance. That's untenable. I mean, how could you do that? So when that ambulance picks up a patient, they're gone for 3 hours and there's no coverage, and they rely on us. They've set it in their contracts to municipalities that when we're not available, mutual aid will cover. It's a broken system, and it continues to just get worse as time goes on.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is there any way that these municipalities that are not performing can be held accountable?
Well, one would think, yeah, I can say that we have had meetings with some municipalities and pushed and pushed and pushed, and one of the agencies has basically added another unit to help offset some of that rush, but that's just a small bucket trying to bail out the ocean. So holding municipalities accountable is kind of difficult because there's no impetus for them to do anything other than say they've provided an EMS agency. That's the only accountability that they have according to the EMS Act. Municipalities have to designate an EMS provider, but after that, whatever standards for service that they wish to have are their own.
Are there any conversations with the county emergency management
Yes.
on this?
Yeah.
And are they providing any type of leadership or accountability?
So that's
Who do we talk to help you?
So that's a great question. The way EMS is structured in Pennsylvania, each municipality makes the decision. The county really has no oversight or any type of authority to administer anything with EMS for municipalities. All those decisions are made on a local level. In an ideal world, we would have a county-based EMS service that would just take care of the entire county, and we would dynamically move units from place to place. But there are 20 some odd EMS agencies in Lancaster County, and everybody likes to do things their own way. And every municipality has different requirements for EMS. So that would be a long process. But EMA certainly is aware of the issues that we have. Lancaster Countywide Communications is aware. The Bureau of EMS is well aware. The Lancaster County EMS Council is working on some solutions to try and fix some of this. So we're attacking it from multiple angles.
One other quick question, if I can, are there financial implications? Are you made whole? Was that going to be your question, Ken? I'm sorry.
Good question.
So that is a great question. And no, we are 100% not made whole at all. I can tell you that EMS agencies traditionally charge municipalities a small fee to provide service. Those fees go to offset the cost of fuel, and right, they don't pay for the service by any stretch. That's a very expensive proposition. Most EMS agencies also provide a subscription program. We do that at Warwick. You've probably seen the mailer. Those help you to defray the out-of-pocket cost, but they also provide an influx of operating cash for us to help offset the way it works. Just in brief, we are not tax supported. We're not supported by municipalities in any, I don't want to say in any real meaningful way, but in any way that would absolutely be able to allow us to operate the system. We appreciate all the support that we do get from the municipalities, but we tread a very fine line because when we respond to outside our primary area, we don't receive any of the funds that those municipalities pay to the primary agency. We don't receive any of the subscription money that the residents have paid to that primary agency, yet we're asked to honor the subscriptions so we may receive half the payment we would normally get. It's really a broken, antiquated system that is ready for a revamp. So in short, no, we're not made whole.
Rob, I'm so glad you're here. That was a wealth of information, and it's always good to look at reality and see what's happening.
Yeah.
My question is, we are blessed with tremendous leadership and a lot of emergency service here in our area. And are you guys being sought after to coach or mentor or help teach what you're doing that's making you successful and helping other communities?
Well, that's a great question. I'm an instructor at the National Fire Academy, and I teach leadership, recruitment, and retention. I also am a frequent speaker at conferences to help share some of the stuff that we've done. It's not magic, right? It's hire great people. It's pay them a livable wage. It's make their workplace enjoyable and provide them the tools they need to do the job. They become your biggest recruitment tool, right? We're lucky in the fact that Warwick EMS very seldom has full-time openings. When we do, we always have more applicants than we have positions. So the staffing issue is not a challenge for us. I don't think we're doing anything groundbreaking, but what we are doing is under promising and over delivering, right? We deliver great service. We deliver high quality, clinical care, and we have great people that do that job. So we receive a lot of interest from other agencies that want to know what the secret sauce is. And really we treat our people well and we give them the tools they need to succeed.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Any other questions?
Ken, I do have one quick. Rob, this is Chris Sensnick from Borough Council. Is there anything that Borough Council can do to improve the situation for y'all, or possibly other elected officials, Senator Malone, or?
Yeah, that's another great question. So I've had a conversation with Representative Fee and Senator Malone, and we've talked about the challenges. They're all well aware of that. Really short of $1 million. I don't think that we're in the position where we need anything else from the municipalities. We appreciate the support that you give us now. As time moves on, we may want to work further with WESC in determining better ways for longevity and long-term funding for emergency services here. We recognize that the way things are now with insurance reimbursement becoming a bigger problem, the fact that Medicare and Medicaid pays a mere fraction of what it costs to actually run a paramedic call. We know that that's not long-term. It's not a long-term survival strategy for us. So as we move forward, we may come back and discuss better ways to fund our services. But right now, just the fact that we're able to have this conversation and I'm able to come and talk to you and share some of this is exceptionally valuable. And again, I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for
Thank you.
coming.
Any questions from the audience?
Mm.
Yeah, sure.
Could you come up here? Sorry,
Come on up.
just so Christine everybody online can hear.
So you mentioned 216 calls outside the area.
Correct.
Over that same period of time, how many calls did you have within your service area?
So I don't have the full number, but we normally do somewhere between 400 and 500 calls per month in the 4 municipalities that we serve.
Okay. And the 216 was over what period of time?
Started on 3/1.
So
So 3 months.
3 months.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a significant number. Yeah.
It's a relatively significant number when you look at the amount of calls that we run. And then when you start to pile on, when we add 5-6 calls a day to, Manheim Township or Penn Township, that becomes, it becomes busy for us.
Right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for the question.
I would imagine too, the liability issue. I mean, you've got Lancaster EMS who's busy and they can't do it. So then Manheim Township who can't do it. So then before you know it, you've got a 20-minute, well, with your lights and sirens, a
It's
lot
still-
less than that.
still
but
long. Yeah.
Right. And then every minute counts.
Sure. And there have been times when we've been dispatched as the closest paramedic unit to Millersville, to Quarryville, right? And we'll look at the map and we'll have a 28-minute response time. And those are real. And, we know that the system has issues and we're working really hard to try and find a good solution. But anyway, thank you again, folks.
Thank you, Rob.
Appreciate it.
Our second presentation is going to be introduced by Jerry.
Sure. Thank you, Ken. I'm happy to introduce Karen Mellon, who is the executive director of the Lititz Rec Center. Lititz Borough has a number of gems in our community that makes Lititz very special. And the Rec Center is one of those special gems that really makes a large impact on our community. So the Rec Center and the Borough Council have had a great partnership over the past number of years, and we want to continue that partnership. And just to remind you that the Lititz Borough Council makes the land available to the Rec Center free. We have a commitment of a $10,000 per year to their capital campaign for their pool. And we have a $32,500 a year capital campaign pledge for their capital campaign in their facility. So we really do make a big contribution to the center, and it's fitting for us to understand what the operations and what's going on at the center. So Karen, thank you for coming and making your presentation tonight.
Well, thank you, Jerry, and thank you everyone for the opportunity. Like I said back in February, we love to come and talk about it. Live, eat, and breathe the rec center. I brought Corey Pickle along with me. Corey is our associate executive director. He's part of the succession plan at the rec center and hopes to step into the big shoes and run the place. He's very community oriented. I said when I came in, I think he knows everyone here, everyone in the community. So want to start by saying that a successful community center is responsive, is collaborative, and it's vibrant in its community. The Lititz Rec Center is a charitable organization, 501c3. We're not a taxable organization either. Those contributions and the support that we receive from our municipal partners and the school district are very valuable. And the bigger part of that is the membership, which is the stakeholders of the rec center. They make the rec center what it is, and the community organizations, the businesses, the people in this community that contribute and support us. So our mission is to enrich the lives in the community. And we did bring a little slideshow that maybe you'll flip with us. Okay. It's to enrich the lives in the community. And we do that through exceptional programs and facility. And it's that support that helps us to do that. I don't know if you know this, but I think I said it last time I was here, that we had 8,000 members. Combined with Rec Rock, we have over 9,500 members in those facilities. And that of that 9,500, 6,000 of them are from this community. That's a pretty significant number. Over 2,200 of those members are Lititz Borough residents. So that's significant. I'm going to ask Corey to step in and talk about more of the did you knows of the rec center.
So if you've been to the rec center, you know we do, like Karen said, have a gem here in the community. We serve a lot of different demographics, age groups, and we pride ourselves in having activities and services for all those ages. 30 years to 54 years is our largest category that we service at the rec center. So we have a lot of people that are active in the fitness programs and the weight room and other paid for events. 2,400 of those members are youth that we would consider are age 0 to 17. And then over 1,000 young adults, and those are ages 18 to 29, so that younger demographic. And then nearly 2,000 are our active older adult population. So we have a lot of the people there. Some of the things that we have as our activities and services, 1,200 borough members were part of the registrations already here in 2025 calendar year. Our youth basketball program, which is a great startup program for a lot of the youth, get them out and moving in the wintertime. We served over 400 last season, and that's continuing to grow. So we're really excited about that. Summer camps. We have over 500 youth participate in those summer camp activities. So those are not just sports activities. I wish we could show you all types of pictures that really encompass everything, but we would be here all night. But the picture I did choose was, an explorer camp that goes up to Speedwell Lake. So we try to get the kids outside, active throughout the community. And then we also have creativity ones, arts and crafts, Legos, robotics, rockets, and sports activities as well. We want to really teach the kids, how to foster friendships meanwhile having great experiences with our team. And then also we're partnered with WRC, the Summer Playgrounds program, a free program to the community. And we service over 300 youth in the summer playgrounds activities.
And the borough also supports that program. We're here just to kind of give you a snapshot of the volume and the activity of the rec center. One thing that was in one of the beginning slides that I didn't say, there's over 2,600 members that come through the turnstiles at the rec center, and that's just members. That doesn't include non-members and guests that come in. Since we've renovated the Lititz Springs pool, we have sold over 1,000 season passes. That includes families, individuals, seniors, and the monthly visits at the pool are probably about 2,300. 23,000. So it's a busy, active place. We're translucent, we're transparent. We try to share everything we have. We send our quarterly financials to all our municipal partners in the school district. We have representation, the way the organization is structured, from all our municipal partners. and the school district. There's an elected council person, which Jerry is that person. They receive our monthly packet with all the financial information and all the activity, all the reports from all the departments, and all those numbers that we're talking about tonight. I think there's been probably many or most of you, if you live in the community, have been to one of the facilities or are a member of the rec center. And we appreciate that. Again, we appreciate your support. If there's questions you have, we're here to answer them.
Thank you, Karen.
You're welcome.
Any questions from council members?
I know you from the
See, he knows
community.
everybody.
Yeah, right. The Community Connect meetings. And I just wondered if you could say a little bit about what you're doing to help with the homeless student population and the benefits that you're providing for those who don't have the resources. If you can just speak to that a little bit, because I think that's important information for the community to have if you're able to share that.
Well, part of our, that's part of our mission. It's part of being a charitable organization. Every year, the partnership campaign, Skip Claire partnership campaign raises about $100,000. And that $100,000 is given to people within our community, Lititz Warwick area, that are struggling financially and need the assistance, whether it's childcare, membership, swimming lessons, basketball, whatever it is provided to them. So there's quite a bit of support that happens that way. No one's turned down. There's I shouldn't say sometimes, there's always a waiting list. You do have to verify your shortcoming, and we provide what we can, especially for the children.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Karen, you mentioned in your report that there may be some changes or expansion at Rec Rock in that location. Anything that you can share, or maybe not?
Well, that is definitely something that we continue to have conversations with Andrea Shirk, and mentioned to Troy Claire that it's a wish of ours to expand the blueprint up there. Whatever Rock Lititz obviously is a growing facility. That campus just continues to blow up. So there's always opportunity, and we're just trying to figure out where that could be for us and where what spaces are going to become available and how we can make it fit well with where we're currently located. So it's something that we're definitely interested in continuing, and we vocalize that with them because there is a need for more space, and we want to continue to offer our community awesome services and facilities. Because if you haven't been to Rec Rock, it's a satellite facility of the rec center where we offer more of a functional fitness side of things as far as that fitness element, but we also have indoor bouldering and obstacle training there. So it's a whole other element. The only other bouldering place you're going to find nearby would be Spooky Nook. Otherwise, you're looking at Philly or Reading areas. So we're continuing to look at offering different things outside the norm for the community to offer to all the demographics.
Thank you.
Yeah, at this time, there's no space available up there, but we keep hoping.
I have one more, and this is in the category of the tough questions.
Okay.
We're going to be getting a report, I believe, next month in the mid-year financials. Is that correct? And we are already starting to look at our budget. Last year, we had a very difficult time balancing our budget. We had to make some really tough decisions about being able to pave our streets, among other things. I noticed in the financial reports that there is a pretty sizable capital fund. And I also understand that you've completed a number of capital projects recently. I think our contract for the contributions is next year. That's up for renewal.
No.
Yeah. So I guess
actually the Borough Council in 2020 voted to continue 2 continuous 4-year sessions, and it goes to 2030.
I think we need records from you maybe on that, because I don't think we have that in our records. I think everything we've seen shows that that's through 2026. So I just want to put that on your radar that Jerry may be coming to you and the chair of our finance committee perhaps, or we may be asking you to come back. Because we do have to make those tough decisions, and being able to continue supporting the rec when we can't afford to replace our own HVAC system here is a challenge. So
Okay.
I just want to put that on your radar and let you know that I appreciate everything you do for our community. No question about that, but we have tough decisions to make here.
Understandable.
So a couple of days ago, I had the privilege of sitting down with Karen and Dave,
Mhm.
treasurer, and they went through their financials for me. Spent 2 hours talking about their financial statements, how they're developed, their forecasting, the capital campaign. It's very impressive. And I just feel comfortable with how you are managing our finances. But as Mary said, we need to look forward to the future and see how we can continue to be a partner with you, because I believe strongly that the rec center is one of the places that makes Lititz special. And I feel really strongly that we as a borough council need to continue to find ways of supporting that.
Well, one of the things I did send you, Jerry, after we met was the adjustments or the discounts that Lititz Borough residents get. And that's over $163,000 annually. So in return for that support, we give that discount to the residents.
Karen and Corey, thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
And your great message. Any questions from the community audience, please?
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to move now to the next part of our meeting, which is under ordinances. And Tanea, I think you're going to give some background on what we're talking about tonight.
Yes, okay. So this is a updated ordinance C 618, and we talked about this last month. I went through, it's just basically amending chapter 115, the vehicle and traffic code of Lititz to accurately document current policies and practices, and to improve the sight distance at the North Walnut and West Lincoln intersections. So I did go through that last month somewhat. Does anybody else have any questions? We did advertise that, correct? So that's been out there. Anybody else have any questions with the ordinance?
I have,
Go ahead.
right, I have one. Does this ordinance relate to storage containers being put on the street or anything that residents use to store things?
You mean like those pods or things like that?
Yes.
I don't think that that does. Do you see that, Elijah, anywhere that this would fall under?
It's
Not specifically with this one.
the only
Right.
parking was making sure you're within 12 inches of the curb. But other than that, it's parking restrictions, vehicle requirements, enforcement updates and penalties for being out of.
Right. And there's a clarification about trailers needing to be attached, that they can't be unattached, but nothing about pods.
You had something?
My question is, it's the duty of the police to report to the mayor where there's any violation. My question is, what's the procedure after it goes to the mayor? And is that the best way to handle it given current staffing? I understand that the mayor is generally over the police, but is that the most expeditious way to handle that component as it's written here?
Speaking of that, I've never had that experience because the police always handle it and they follow the ordinance. So that's where we're at.
Sure, that would be great. Thank you, Jared.
I don't know where that language originated or at what point and for what reason. Obviously, we would communicate to the mayor and the council any significant traffic, parking related concerns, questions, but customarily through daily operations, as we're called, to enforce parking traffic issues, most all of them would not arise to the level that we would need to formally notify the mayor, but certainly we would keep that avenue of communication open if there was a pressing issue that would require follow-up or significant interest or safety concerns. But customarily we handle it either through education or enforcement, and then we resolve the matter.
I just know we've got a number of things we're trying to clean up procedurally from years of operations, and we always did things that way. So just, we might want to look at, in our next revision, perhaps, look at whether that needs to be taken out, or if your report to council and the mayor at the end of the month
Right.
satisfies that or something. It just struck me as a little odd, given the staffing that we have, so.
Right, and I think, setting this parking issue aside, any obviously significant happening that involves the police department will be reported to the mayor.
Right.
Whether it's direct or indirect effects to the department. But yeah, it's my suspicion is this just carryover language from previous era.
Okay. Thank you.
It's been the custom and the habit, I think, for years. Yeah.
Anybody else have any questions?
I'll be looking for a motion.
All right. I'd like to make a motion to approve the ordinance update amended to ordinance number C618 of the Lititz Borough Code.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any noes? Motion passes. Sorry, Chris.
No worries.
Okay. Let's move down to the next item of our tonight's business. We have no resolutions and no agreements tonight. So we're going to move directly to the council members forum. And first up is the subcommittee report on water, wastewater, and stormwater. So we have two items of business, and Nate is going to represent Infomark for his report tonight. You gave Doug some time off, huh?
I should have reviewed it to know exactly which date it was, but yeah. Let's see. The rebate accounts for the month of May were $1,021.72 under budget. And that leaves us $53,478.93 over budget for the year, contract year so far. And as have said before, usually in the beginning of the year, utilities and chemicals are high, running the biosolids dryer. Hopefully now this crazy heat will help the digester bugs really start eating. So we're hoping that slows down. The approval that I have tonight is the water treatment plant furnace boiler. We had it in the budget for next year to replace the now I can't remember, but the actual unit, not the whole unit, just the
boiler.
Not the boiler, but I knew what it
The
was. And I
thingy.
can't remember now. But anyways, and that's why it wasn't as much as what the quotes came back for. We had Garden Spot Mechanical, who is the contractor who does all of our system maintenance, and then we were able to get two other quotes because the amount wound up being higher than $21,500. Let's see. Garden Spot is CoStar's. And we would recommend going with them. The quote was $29,640. What we were planning to do is push the SCADA high service and intermediate pump programming that we had in this year's budget to next year. And that is close to paying for what that would be. And it would wind up being $4,640 more this year.
Can I interrupt you there?
Yeah.
Nate, thank you. So Water Sewer has been aware of this, and our intention is to stay on budget. And then the furnace replacement is more critical than the SCADA at this point.
Yes.
So
Yes.
we viewed that we would flip it and do it exactly as Nate said. So we want to let you know that we support that move.
Right. Yes, the boiler, it's not like it's on its last leg, it died. So let's see, at the water plant, let's see, for projects, a well pump number 3 was installed and failed exactly the same way. So they're getting the contractors repairing, assembling it on site at their site and testing it before they bring it in. because not quite sure what's going on there. I mean, Cole Brothers is very good. That's who we've always used. I would recommend them to anybody. That's why it's very odd that this is happening.
This is the replacement for the one that had the bad part.
And it's pretty much almost the exact same, failed exact same way. Let's see, high service pump project, that's underway. Should be done in about 2 weeks. Let's see, salt room door replacement is in progress as well. As stated, the intermediate and high service VFD SCADA programming, we are pushing to next year. And then we also did have on there to rebuild the existing, let's see, high service pump motor and keep it as a spare. Cole Brothers, I mean, because we have 3, they didn't feel that was needed because we could rebuild it and it sits there for 20 years and then it doesn't work anyways, kind of thing. So that would actually save $4,000 for the borough by not doing that. At the wastewater plant, we did receive, we were hoping to rebuild the final clarifier drive. It was recommended to us that it's past its lifespan. And the quote we had gotten for a new one is about $20,000 more than what we had budgeted. We will talk with the utility or authority about that, but pretty sure we're going to just push that to next year. Let's see, anaerobic digester blower rebuild is in progress. And there was a slight overage, I think $550, but we will get further approval from the authority in July when we have that meeting. Let's see, both plants were in compliance for the month. Wastewater plant, we averaged 2.2 million gallons per day. That was actually 15% more than April. We had a little more rain, 9.64 inches for the month. And the water plant, let's see, the average flow was 1.82 MGD, which is up 2% from April and will probably continue just with the summer coming. We had quite an amount of call outs at the wastewater plant. It was 8. Wound up being because of a check valve that needed to be cleaned. That was completed when that pump and motor was replaced, which is part of this year's budget. And I believe that's it. That's all I have.
Nate, thank you for coming in tonight. Any questions from council? Okay, just want to remind everybody that when we approve the Infomark report tonight, we're also approving or giving Infomark permission to move forward with the additional cost to install the water treatment plant. So it doesn't need a second motion.
All right, well, why don't we make make a motion to approve the Infomark report in addition to the water treatment plant furnace boiler quote of $29,640.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Motion passes. Thank you. Thanks, Nate.
Thank you.
Okay, we're moving further into our meeting tonight, and we're going to have Tanea present the report on streets and traffic.
Okay. Got a couple special events here. I've got 2. We've got Hearts Physical Therapy 5K run walk coming up on October 4th. Runs from 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. And that is going to begin and end at Bonfield Elementary School. Also have another special event. The second Saturdays, those are going to start July 12th, August 9th, September 13th, and October 11th. They run from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. That's going to be put on by the Downtown Lititz Merchants Association with Venture Lititz. There is going to be, there's a request for a road closure. It's going to be, they'd like to add outdoor dining to Collusions to offer, have Juniper Lane closed in front of the stores. So this allow more people to have more outdoor dining options. And you think everything's all right with that one? You guys going to be able to close it off and?
Yeah, if approved, we would coordinate the details with merchants and public works or whoever else needs to be involved with.
When I read this, so you meant to close that alleyway that comes out into 501, close it right there and then have that all open?
My understanding
close.
of their request is to close Juniper at 501, essentially where the crosswalk is,
Okay,
and then just a short distance back to where basically that sidewalk ends at Collusion Store, not the entire length of Juniper. So it would not affect the parking behind the apartments right there, because they have a back parking lot which goes out to both Juniper Lane and Raspberry. The access in and out of the parking lot on Juniper should be unaffected.
okay, thank you. Anybody have any questions about those two? All right, I'd like to make a motion to approve 2 special events, one for Hearts Physical Therapy 5K and one for Second Saturdays.
A second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Motion passes.
And I've got 4 permits I'm going to run through. First one is for the Lititz Craft Beer Fest. That's going to run on, it's going to be on September 27th of 2025. It's going to run from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. And it is put on by the Lititz Ambucks and the WCAA. They're going to have this located at the Tate parking lot. Expect about 4,000 people. Anybody have any questions on that one? Been to that one, that's a good one. Next one is Laurel Avenue Block Party. So that's going to be July 12th, running from 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. It's going to be the 300 block of Laurel Avenue, and they're requesting that road to be closed so they can set up tables and chairs for neighbors. Anybody else questions? Another block party. Spruce Street Block Party. This is going to be on August 30th of 2025. It's going to run from 5:15 to 9 p.m. It'll be the 100 block of Spruce. They're asking road to be closed, South Spruce Street, again, for their annual party, block party. Questions on that? One more. We got the Ken Keener Great Water Ball Race. This is going to be on September 20th, 2025. It's going to run from 9 a.m. till 2 p.m. It's put on by the Young Men's Business League in the Lititz Springs Park. They're going to be dropping numbered floating balls at the top of the spring, and then they race them down towards the end near the waterfall. Anybody have any questions on that one? Nope.
What's the fundraiser for?
This is for Ken Keener's Great Water Ball Race. I know he passed several years ago, so I think this is in his honor, basically.
And to answer that question, they do use money for scholarships for the business, for the Warwick seniors, scholarships, and also to keep their building in repair.
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you. All right, so I'd like to make a motion to approve the permit of the Lititz Craft Beer Fest, the Laurel Avenue Block Party, the Spruce Street Block Party, and the Ken Keener Water Ball Race.
Second.
Okay, let's vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Motion passes. Thanks, Tanea.
Thank you.
Anything else under streets and traffic?
That's all I have for today.
Okay, let's move quickly now to finance. And Council, you have the June financial statement in front of you. What we're seeing here is our revenues are coming in as expected, and our expenses are where we thought they should be at this time of year. Nothing out of the ordinary. So we're pleased to report that. Any questions?
I'd like to
make a motion.
Go for it, Christine.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the June financial statement and pay the bills.
Second.
Second.
Thanks. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Motion passes. Would like just to let the public know that we had a finance meeting on Monday. We spent a lot of time gathering information and getting prepared for the July meeting. July is typically a month that we like to dive a little deeper into the finances. And so this year, not only are we going to share some of our experience with the revenue and expenses this year, but we'd like to bring some more features about finance to the council and to the general public. And one is we want to talk about or educate our council members and the public on our debt and obligations here in the borough. We'd like to share that with you. We'd also like to update council and the public on some of our cost reduction initiatives that we've been working on. We've got several suggestions that came in May, and we're starting to think that I would like to share with some of that data and results. And we also want to, as Mary brought up, we see a lot of opportunities in the future to improve our community, but a lot of that costs money. And so we want to make sure that we look at some different funding sources to help support the variety of requests that are coming at us. So we're working on that, and we'd like to share that with you. So come on out, and we'll do our best to answer your questions and to inform you what we see and how we want to move forward. Finally, since there's a lot on everybody's plate, would like to encourage all our department heads to take the opportunity to meet with us before your budget is due. This gives us a chance to go through different line item detail, create greater transparency, get better buy-in, and help decision makers make informed decisions. Sometimes budgeting can be compressed in a lot of time, and we want to make sure we spend the right amount of time to make the right decisions for our community. So we'd ask everybody to help us there. That's it for finance at the moment. More to come next month. Let's move on down to our subcommittee report on personnel and benefits. Jerry?
Yes, I have two recommendations tonight of people to join our various committees. Tonight, I'm delighted to introduce Christopher Getz for membership to the Parks Committee. Remember, at the last council meeting, we expanded the Parks Committee by 3 members to give the Parks Committee some more resources to deal with some of the things that are going on in our community, particularly with the roundabout. Chris has lived in Lititz his whole life and is a graduate of Warwick High School. He has a bachelor's degree in business administration from Millersville University. His professional experience has included helping communities successfully grow through assessments, development, and support of local organizations that serve the community. He has experience in building code enforcement. He's an active duty United States Air Force, and he wants to contribute to the economic development of the community based on his professional experience and his love for Lititz. I met with him a couple of times, and he is excited about joining the Parks Committee. So I am recommending the appointment of Christopher Getz to the Parks Committee effective July 1st, 2025 to December 31, 2027.
I'll second. I have a clarifying question. I believe you said 3. The board was extended by 3 positions. I believe it's 2.
3.
It's 3.
It's 2 because that would give, because it had 5, 3 would create.
Yes, okay, fine.
So it's 2, which would make sure that you have an odd number.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. So I second the nomination.
Okay, thanks for that clarification. Any other discussion or questions? Okay, let's vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? The motion passes.
I invited Chris to come. I don't see him here tonight, so he was hoping to maybe be here. My second recommendation is I'm delighted to introduce, get me the right one here. I'm excited to introduce Craig Kemmel for membership on the Zoning Hearing Board. Craig is a Lititz resident who purchased and upgraded a Market Street property a year ago. Craig is an architect with RLPS Architects who has provided architectural surveys and services for many Lititz Borough properties, including the Wilbur Building and the MM Warwick Woodlands. As an architect, he is very familiar with the various municipality zoning requirements. He served on the Warwick Township Planning Commission for 20 years. As a result of his professional experience and community service, Greg is uniquely qualified to join the Zoning Hearing Board. So I'm recommending the appointment of Craig Kemmel to complete the alternate Zoning Hearing Board term of Maureen Westcott effective July 1st, 2025 to December 31, 2026.
Second, and applaud him on his step up from Warwick Township.
He's not here.
Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
It is a step up, absolutely.
It's good to have you on board, Craig. Okay, we're,
You
are we-
want to say anything more? Please.
Craig, didn't you? Craig, didn't you help out with the Warwick or the middle school in that? Your fingerprints are all over. Glad to have you. Okay, are we ready to vote? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Motion passes. Welcome aboard.
I'm just totally impressed with the kind of caliber of people and leadership we have in our borough that has stepped up to the plate to join these various committees. It's one of the things that makes our community special. So thank you to all the people who are volunteering and who have volunteered in the past.
Amen.
Question, Jerry, is it because they're finding the openings just on our website? Is that where that's mainly the one place?
That's one place. And as I go around town, as I talk to people, I mentioned that we have these openings. Right now, I have 5 or 6 people who volunteered, but I don't have any slots for. So
nice.
we have a bullpen.
Right. Perfect. Thank
Better
you.
than the Phillies at this point.
Anything else, Jerry? Okay, good stuff. Let's move on now to report on planning. Chris?
Thank you, Ken. I don't have anything to report today, but I will take this opportunity to remind everyone that the next Planning Commission meeting is 1 week from today, July 1st at 7 p.m.
Thank you, Chris. Let's move down to report on zoning. Mary, can you take us through?
Yeah, actually, nothing to report.
All right, thank you. Next is report on buildings and grounds, and that's me. I would like to say that the Parks monthly meeting was on Monday, June 16th, and I was not able to attend, so I'm going to defer to Elijah where some valuable discussion occurred, and I saw in the minutes, and as well as some nice community feedback.
Yes, and they braved the rain to come out, and everyone huddled into the pavilion. So I think Parks Committee did enjoy the feedback. It was different than New Street Park. It was a lot more of, things are going pretty well. There's a few critiques and a few things. Fortunately, Public Works was able to get out and seed the tree lawn out there as a result of that. So we had some really good suggestions from the community. Next one will be at 6th Street Park for the July meeting. And then we will plan on having it at the Memorial Lot, Revolutionary War Memorial Lot for the August Parks Committee meeting. So we'll have notice on the website, we'll post it downstairs, and we'll run one in the record as well.
Thanks, Elijah. Any questions? Okay, let's keep moving. We're moving down to the report on the regional plan. Mary?
The Lititz Implementation Committee continues to meet. We made some good progress at our last meeting in terms of moving forward with discussions around housing affordability. I'll be attending the Coalition for Sustainable Housing meeting on Friday, and we hope to have a report for you after our July regional committee meeting. So probably August.
Okay.
But we're continuing to move forward, continue to be grateful for the members who are committing themselves to implementing that plan.
Thank you, Mary. Any questions for anybody? Okay. Next on the agenda is the report by the borough engineer, which was in our packets. Any questions? I don't see Scott here tonight. I'm not online. Okay. All right. Let's move on down to the mayor.
No report from me.
Police report. Anything, Jared? Welcome back from vacation. Looks like you're in the sun. All right. Next, we're moving to the managing director's reports. Any questions for Rob or Elijah? Anything that you want to report? Oh, Rob?
Just the Front Street water main. It's in Andy's report, but it's going well so far. No major problems down there. And the Front Street water meter pit pre-construction meeting took place earlier this month. While I don't have an exact date of its starting, product has been ordered and is moving along.
Thank you, Rob.
Rob, this is Chris. Could you please give an update on the Borough Hall HVAC?
Yeah, so Borough Hall HVAC, it feels great here in Borough Chambers. Not so much when you walk out the doors here. Products have been ordered. We do not have a date as when they'll be here. Some pre-wiring work was done by the control company earlier this month and in late May.
Okay, and this project is in the budget for this year, and the quotes have come in within budget, correct?
That's correct. Yep.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Elijah, would you care to share anything from your report?
Sure. Two highlights. First is Grove Miller, who's our traffic engineer, will begin the traffic warrant analysis at 6 and Kissel Hill starting this week. You'll see the traffic count, I believe, tubes out there, probably if they're not out there now, within the next few days. And they estimate to have that warrant analysis done by mid-month. So we should have more to report at the end. The only other thing is that we did receive the construction management agreement from Norfolk Southern. That is currently at the solicitor, and I'm hopeful to have that on the agenda for July.
That's exciting.
We'll see how many comments he has and whether those comments are worth bringing forward because it's Norfolk Southern.
Yeah,
Yeah, that is
True.
exciting. Great. I also saw in your report that the Warwick Townships is sharing on the cost with the street
Yes.
report.
Yeah, for the warrant analysis.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was attending remotely and I heard all the discussion about that intersection, and I was really pleased with public comment that came up and spoke, and also the quick response I saw in the emails of how you guys organized the next sequence of plans. So thank you, Elijah. Okay, that is the end of the report for this evening, and now I think we've followed that with any petitions, correspondence, or questions. Anything, Elijah? Anything to be aware of?
Nothing formal other than public comment.
Okay. Is there any public comment tonight? Anybody online, Rob?
No one has messaged me online.
Well, I would like for everybody to know I'm grateful that you braved the warm weather to come out and attend tonight, and we appreciate everybody's participation. If there's no other business for the group, I'm looking for a motion.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Motion passes. Thank you, everybody.